We are back on Get Up, and what a wild one we had in Game 1 last night. But 2 rebounds. It's a 1-point game. Both sides make 2 free throws. Thunder inbounding, up 1, 10 seconds remaining. They're going to foul Holmgren. He missed 10 days, but it was quite a remarkable finish. And Jay Will, I want you to walk through. We didn't have time to show it in the highlight because it's sort of its own unique, specific moment in the game. But Jay Will, walk everybody through where you think OKC got this thing so wrong.
Yeah, Greeny, I thought Mark Daigneault really lost this game down the stretch with it. He's not in the game. If anything, let that play out and see if you have a chance to win the game by fouling him. Aaron Gordon then goes to the free throw line, makes 2 free throws. Then they foul Chet Holmgren. Look, Holmgren obviously chokes a little bit, missing those 2 free throws, but still doesn't even have to get to that situation. That's mismanagement of time and situation for Daigneault.
It's the whole idea of fouling up 3 is one thing. I understand what you're saying. It doesn't have to be immediate, and we have to pay some attention to who's not on the floor. At that moment, Jokic, to your point, is not on the floor. So that's a point extremely well made. I wanted to make sure we brought it to you. That said, Big Perk, Denver steals Game 1 off of no rest at all on the road. What did you see last night?
I saw the Nuggets snatch their souls. That's what I saw. I saw Jokic get a technical foul, and I saw him get pissed off. And after that, it was a wrap. Aaron Gordon and Jokic was punishing Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. They had 64 points out of the 121 points. They were punishing them in and out. Listen, they got to wake up. You bring in Isaiah Hartenstein this offseason to secure that spot and fill that void at the center position. Chet Holmgren, you supposed to be that guy to cancel out Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is so crucial for the Nuggets for his physicality, his size. If they don't correct this, it's going to be a problem for OKC. They're going to be in trouble. And here's the thing. Another one, Chet Holmgren, light in the ass. You got to use your length. You got to use your ball pressure. You got to use your athleticism. I just thought last night they let Jokic and Aaron Gordon, they were too comfortable. If I was them, I would go back and I would watch a lot of film on how the Clippers guarded Jokic, especially Big Zubac, because I'd never seen the individual or a team guard Jokic the way that the Clippers did last series.
You were making the point, Wendy, in our notes, actually, that this is not the matchup OKC probably would have preferred, right? This is because of Jokic. This is a tough matchup for the team that's been the best in the league all year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Thunder probably privately were rooting for the Clippers to win Game 7. And as Perk just referenced, what happened in this game was kind of a vote for Zubac's ability to defend Jokic. You know, by Jokic's standards, which are extremely high, he had sort of average games in games 5, 6, and 7 of that series. He was an absolute monster down the stretch of this game, going for 44 and 22. And let me just say that when you look at the Thunder, when they have tough losses, and they have been dominant the last 2 seasons, but when they lose, it tends to be when their offense dries up. And that's what happened here. This was an 11-point game midway through the 4th quarter. And then the Thunder went on the stretch where they went 1 of 8. And the guy who's going to win the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, was not able to deliver in that stretch. He will at other times. He has throughout the whole season, but he didn't there. And then the missed free throws by Chet Holmgren were rough. There's no other way to say it. That was a choke. They needed those free throws. That cost the Thunder a chance to guarantee at least overtime, and he's going to be thinking about that one for a while.
Go ahead, Perk.
And real quick, Greeny, I got to give some love to Russell Westbrook. How he's been playing, I mean, he has been basically the heart and soul of this team the last 2 games, especially last night. 18 points off the bench, playing with that tenacity. He is the prime example of turning boos into cheers. Russell Westbrook has become a fan favorite off the bench for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, he had 18 points and shot 7 of 13 doing it, so he was pretty efficient in their series. The last 6 teams to do that have all gone on to lose their series, including the Lakers and Rockets in the first round here. So now the Cavaliers, the Thunder, and the Celtics, who have gone down 1-0, they're all still favorites to win their respective series. But after their losses, the odds have significantly shifted. Look at the number under the Celtics and under OKC. Those numbers dropping significantly. The Thunder and the Celtics both were prohibitive favorites. I have one more good one for you here before I get to the guys. If you had a parlay and you had the Thunder, Cavaliers, and Celtics all to lose game one of this round, and you had bet $10 on that at ESPN Bet, you would have gotten paid out $707 on a $10 bet. That's how unlikely this was. So, Windman, as you just sort of sit back and observe where we are in round two, and I were to say to you, which one of those teams would you describe as being in the most trouble? Which one is it?
I think it's the Cavs. You know, yesterday, Coach Kenny Atkinson won the NBA Coach of the Year award, and it might not have been a happy day because he had very stark injury updates on the fallout from game one. Evan Mobley, who just won Defensive Player of the Year, is their all-star, likely an all-NBA player, turned his ankle in the fourth quarter of that game, landing on Miles Turner from the Pacers. He is questionable for tonight's game two. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Kenny Atkinson was trying to sort of set a tone or whatever, but he sounded downright pessimistic Mobley would be able to go. Then DeAndre Hunter, who's one of their best players off the bench, a transformational player they got at the deadline, he dislocated his thumb on a collision with Ben Mathurin in the fourth quarter of that game. Atkinson is still upset that that wasn't called a foul. He is also questionable. Atkinson sounded pessimistic about him. And Darius Garland, who's missed the last three playoff games with a sprained toe, remained questionable, and they weren't sure. They weren't really able to give a good update on whether he would be able to play. So that the Cavs, they got beat by the Pacers. That was not a one-off situation where the Pacers, hit a ton of threes or the Cavs were ice cold. The Pacers beat them, both going strength on strength there. And now the Cavs could potentially be out with three of their five or three of their six best players. That is a daunting situation.
Yeah, bear in mind that the Pacers made it all the way to the conference final last year. It's a team that's been through the playoff road and tends to elevate.
And what happened for them in the
postseason.
Second round last year?
Yeah, the Knicks all got hurt.
Knicks team all had injuries, and that took them right to the conference finals, setting up for them again, and they earned that game one win.
So we see everyone had Cavaliers picked because it feels like the obvious choice, and I decided to go a different direction because it continues to stick in my craw that people talk about this Celtic-Knicks series like the two teams don't belong on the same floor, and so I'm just going to continue saying it. I don't think the Knicks are going to win the series, but I absolutely thought and continue to think it's going to be a hard-fought battle. Jay Wilt, we showed Oklahoma City and Denver earlier. We dove deep kind of into the strategy at the end, so didn't get to go big picture. OKC, you worried about them against a Denver team that has championship pedigree and Jokic?
I mean, I took a lot of flack from you yesterday for calling it a toss-up on the graphic. I mean, yes, I had it as a toss-up. I really didn't know. But, Greeny, also, I know we'll talk a lot about Dagnall and the play down the stretch to foul Aaron Gordon and then the missed free throws by Chet Holmgren that leads to the Aaron Gordon three. But I do have to do this. I want to give a shout-out to Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
Not only did he answer the bell in the last series versus Ty Lue and the Clippers, the team he played for, by knocking down multiple threes and making big